One of the better weeks I've had in rugby, I reckon. I still remember walking out to the crowd because obviously they've got the big bank,
Yes.
and it was just covered.
Yeah.
People everywhere. It was, hands down, probably the best atmosphere I've played in front of.
What's your record on the bench?
My bench was 170.
Damn.
Reasonably good at power cleans. I think I had the record for at the Chiefs for about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I banged out whatever it was, might have been 145, and then Mama Vaiapulu, like number 8, whipped up 5 kgs heavier, and I was never going heavier than what I'd just done. But I watched Ben Tamafuna squatted, it was 300 or something ridiculous. Yeah. Basically, every team, when you're about to attempt a PB or a record on the board, there's a bell or something rung, and so everyone's then watching you, which is, hypes you up at the same time. You're like, God, I better make sure I get this now. Waste everyone's time. But that's awesome because it gives you that. It's the same feeling as playing a game of rugby in front of a big crowd, and that's what we strive for, that environment.
Zebra, what was it like Italian rugby?
It was interesting. I got off the plane on a Thursday, got there, and they're like, okay, we need you to play this weekend, which was fine. That's what I'm there to do, right? Yep, we'll give you 60 minutes. Well, they might have asked me, and I said 50 to 60, fine. Because 40, get a break, away you go. And then we're playing Munster. And as I said, I got to like the 75th minute or whatever it was. Looking around, like, why am I on this field still? Just got caught from behind. I think it might have been another ankle tap and grabbed and then just locked up completely. The good thing over there is because they got all the football and their medical side of things is crazy. They've got their own MRI machines and all this jazz. I got straight off the field. They spent about 10 minutes trying to straighten my leg out, which I wasn't too impressed with. Because it wasn't happening. And then they took me to straight to hospital to an MRI machine, which again, you got to have a straight leg to go on the MRI machine. And so they had to jam the thing down. And then the next day I went to Milan, so I got driven up and had surgery the next day. Because obviously you're an overseas player, they try to rush you back into to play. They changed physio and got this guy Matteo. And to this day I still reckon that he almost kick-started my career again.
What was Roger Tuivasa-Sheck? Like, we spoke earlier about dudes that are going hard in the gym and that, but what was he like?
Just an absolute professional around everything he did. Absolute freak athlete. He was big enough where you had to be going forward to hit him, even at my size. But then he could step to the other side of the room and like that. And so we played Auckland up at in Auckland, and he was playing. He stepped me from so far away, I don't even think it counted as a missed tackle. But I was trying to get him. And I just started laughing on the field. I don't think I've ever laughed. And Adrian Chodel, one of the Auckland boys, started laughing as well. We'll just move on from that. It was just ridiculous, like freak athlete.
All right, welcome to Shed Life. We've got another awesome episode. As we know, everyone's welcome in the shed. Today, 13 years professional rugby player. We're talking to James Tucker, introduced by Aidan Johnston, teammate to get along, husband, father, entrepreneur, as I said, pro rugby player. We're just talking 22 surgeries, 12 of them big proper ones. So we're going to get into that. But first, welcome aboard.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, mate.
No worries, mate. It's good to see you. We won't start quite at the beginning. I wanted to ask, what was it like playing 2017, the British and Irish Lions? You played for the Provincial team, almost got the win over them as well.
Yeah, we did. I think the key there was we had 4 locks on the field to start the game. So we had 4, 5, 6 and 8. All 4 of us were basically tie head locks as well. So that was obviously key to that. But yeah, no, that was...
Do you remember who were the other locks?
There was... Who played lock? Kipper Mewett, I think is his full name. Josh Goodhue.
Yeah.
I was at 6 and Mitchell Dunshay played 8.
Nice.
Yeah, so 4 battlers basically all out on the field. Probably say that whole team was full of battlers, to be fair, but we almost got the job done that day.
Yep. What was the occasion like? Was the Barmy Army in full voice for them?
Yeah, it was. I think it would have been quite hard for them because they got off the plane in Auckland, obviously, and then literally drove straight up the road to Whangārei and played us within 3 or 4 days. I'm not sure how much training they'd done before they got there and all that, but you come up against a bunch of battlers.
You guys are fired up.
We're fired up. It's most of us had played a bit of Super Rugby or at least provincial rugby, but this is the highlight of your career almost. And so we're, chomping at the bit, and they'd sort of get through this one and get ready for the All Blacks, right? And a couple key moments in the game. If they went a different way, we would have tipped them up, which wouldn't have been great for them, but would have been pretty awesome for us.
Yeah, that's it's what was it, 17-14?
Yeah, I think it was. And as I said, there was a couple passes that could have been passed and things like that. But that's sport. You don't want to dwell on it too much. But it was just the whole week was something else. It wasn't a serious rugby week. You're preparing for a whole competition. It was, we'll go out there, and we're a Barbarians team, so it was we looked at it that way, have a bit of fun, but obviously the goal end game is to win the game. And create a legacy if you can. I don't think they've played before or will probably play again, but if we'd tipped them up, it would have been pretty awesome. But one of the better weeks I've had in rugby, I reckon.
Yeah, that's cool. And regardless of the result, I still obviously did it proud and just had a good game. And in the Whangārei crowd.
I still remember walking out to the crowd, because obviously they've got the big bank up there, and you walk through the thing and you could hear it all roaring and that. But it's actually, I don't know, I can't remember how it looks on TV, but it's a very high hill.
Yes.
And it was just covered. People everywhere. It was, hands down, probably the best atmosphere I've played in front of. Packed out stadium. An older school stadium where everything's quite tight, and because it goes up, it's just noisy, and it was pretty cool. Yeah,
cauldron of noise, eh?
Yes. And now you've got those indoor stadiums, obviously, like the Christchurch one.
Yeah.
Again, and Dunedin, obviously, it just echoes a bit, which is cool again.
Yeah.
That I haven't been in one of them when they've been packed out yet, but it was pretty awesome up north.
Awesome. All right, well, let's go back to the beginning. Where'd you grow up? I've heard, you and both your brothers are pretty talented rugby players, but also talented cricketers and that.
So I grew up mainly in Christchurch. We were there for, the beginning, and then we moved to Sydney for about 4 years. Mm-hmm. Dad was he had a golf company, so we're over there for that.
That's what I heard. You play on like a +1 handicap.
When I'm allowed to play, I can get into that. But so we love a bit of golf, but we didn't play a heap back then because we obviously had a whole lot of other sport that we were playing as well. And I think Dad was a bit fried with the golf at that point, so he didn't want to. He wasn't playing too much either. So I spent 4 years over in Australia. I started high school there, and then it was about that time where NCA, or their equivalent, was about to start. So we were either going to move back or stay there probably still be there now.
Yeah.
And they made the decision to come back for my older brother. So I started at St Bede's 2008, I believe it was, in year 9.
Oh, yeah.
And we actually had to board. Mm-hmm. And so my parents lived about 3 k's away from the school. I could have walked home and to school, but here we were boarding, which was interesting. It was good. Like I think looking back on it, you enjoyed it more than what you thought at the time. But I was just of the mindset of, why the hell am I boarding?
Yeah,
my grandparents lived on the back fence, and my parents lived 3 k's away. But no, it was good. My older brother actually, he boarded another year post that. Mm-hmm. I think they were all sneaking out. It was a bit easier to sneak out of school than from home, so that probably played a big part in that.
What were the major sports then? Was it cricket, rugby?
Yeah, cricket and rugby were definitely the biggest come high school. I played a bit of tennis, and you dabble in everything when you're younger. But by school at St Bede's, it was cricket and rugby. I think I made the first 11 in year 10, so cricket obviously got big pretty quick. Mm-hmm. Still playing rugby as well. You've got all your Canterbury Metro, and so competitive enough. And then all the way through, it was just cricket and rugby basically. Trying to dabble in a bit of schoolwork in between if you could. And then just basically we were down there until we ended up moving to the backfield into my grandparents' house. So we were
you moved out of the boarding into the...
So moved out of the boarding, might have had a year in the other house, and then we almost swapped. And I would still remember Jerry Davidson was a deputy principal, first 15 coach, old dog of St. Bede's, and they're the three most lates at the college were myself, who lived there basically, my younger brother, and Billy Harmon. But Billy lived in New Brighton or something. He had a bus and car, and he had an excuse where we had no excuse at all.
Just sleeping in, eating breakfast.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not in a rush.
No. Well, you do, come rugby gets a bit more serious. You got to go to the gym and whatnot in the morning back then, and then it's come home and sit down and relax a bit, trying to, I had a good form teacher who used to mark me down regardless of if I turned up or not.
Yeah, nice.
The only issue was if I was actually sick, I was then marked at form class and not present for the 6 periods for the rest of the day. So for whatever reason, I've turned up and then decided to bunk afterwards.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cruisy and good time.
What was it like? I just asked, because earthquakes 2011?
2011, yes. Yeah. There was 2010 September.
Yep.
We were up at the top 4, actually.
Oh, yeah.
So missed all of that. My older brother didn't even know there was an earthquake. He'd been out in the town and slept through it all. Wondered why all the oil and stuff had spilt on the floor in the morning.
It's like, wow, I was a real mess when I came home.
Why has mum and dad rang me 10 times and whatever. What
have I done?
Exactly. Oh, it's just an absolute mess, that man. So then I remember it vividly, standing in the by the chapel it's gone now. It used to be the heart of the school, and there's a swimming pool, and there'd been plenty of earthquakes since the September one, and then the boarding dorm was just shaking and the tuck shops underneath it, and you're like, shit, that's slightly bigger than what we've had, and you can't normally feel them when you're standing up. And then obviously it shook the pool, and then the pool was a raised pool, and it just started flooding out onto the all the way up to our feet.
Wow.
And you're like, jeez, that's not normal.
Yeah.
And they send you to the front field of St. Bede's, where the rugby field and that is, and you look. I remember looking over to the Port Hills, which is the city.
Yeah.
And it was just dust.
Wow.
Rising everywhere. And again, you're sort of naive and young, and you don't really know what's going on, but you're like, that's probably not ideal.
No.
And then obviously, your parents had to come and get you before you could leave. And my parents were working on the other side of town. So you're like, shit, well, what's going on there? Because you couldn't text, you couldn't make any phone calls because all the data everyone's trying to do it. So it was a pretty strange moment. Got home. They'd let us go because we lived on the backfield, and there's an alarm going off that I don't even think mum and dad knew there was a house alarm. So no one knew how to turn this alarm off that was going on. And it was just a whole lot of unknown for everyone after that. But school sort of worked out pretty good for us because Marion College, who were in town, the sister school of St. Bede's, their school got red stickered. And they all agreed that they would come and would do half days. So we got the morning shift and they got the night shift. So we were start at 7:30 and we finished school by 12 o'clock. So in the middle of winter, we're out and done in the perfect time of the day, and these girls had to go on. Obviously, living at the back fence, they're walking home in the dark.
Yeah.
Which in hindsight probably would have been safer if they'd done it the other way around. But it was for a bad circumstance. The schooling side of things ended up being quite good for us.
Yeah. Yeah, suddenly had a bunch of girls to talk to at school.
Yeah. A few of them came into our classes as well, so that was a shock to the system. We didn't know what to do, but it's better than looking at a whole bunch of ugly boys for 40 minutes of class.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's been pretty impressive. Not pretty. It's been impressive, the resilience of Canterbury and Christchurch, of what happened, the rebuild, the attitude of the community afterwards, of everyone getting stuck in and just cleaning it up and getting it done. And now it's probably took longer than we thought, but with the new stadium, it's just the rebirth. There's a bunch of my son's mates, I don't know, Trent, Luke, Cruz, Antonio, heaps of the boys are all moving to Christchurch which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather them move to Christchurch than Australia, you know, like at least they can fly back up and see them.
Mind you, it probably costs the same these days.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, no, they've done it. I remember talking to my uncle and, you know, older people than me. People used to come from Dunedin to go to Christchurch to go out. Where obviously for that 10-year period, it was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
But the way they've built it all up, it's all central, and I believe it used to be reasonably central anyway. And Jade Stadium wasn't far away and all that, but yeah, where that new stadium's situated, just how nice all the eateries and bars and restaurants and shopping's all there as well.
Yeah.
I imagine plenty of Cantabrians still complain about the roads. There's plenty of bumpy roads around. But no, they've done it. Yeah, it's a pretty awesome city.
Yeah, no, it's cool. So you made the New Zealand Schools 2012, but how did you make the choice between cricket and rugby? Was there like a pivotal moment where you're like, I can't keep playing both? Unfortunately, you're not in that golden era of trying to, do them both. Rugby is just pretty much 12 months a year.
Yeah.
Well, they're both pretty much. It's like there's cricket going on right now.
No, it's why to fast forward a few years, we played at the Blues. The Black Caps played on a Friday night and we played on the Saturday.
Yeah.
So we were running around on, half an inch of grass, and it was tough on the limbs, but that's a whole nother story. But you just can't do it these days. And I got to the point where there's a World Cup for the under-19s every 2 years for cricket.
Yeah.
And I'd made the New Zealand Whiters squad for the under-19s, but obviously was also buying for the New Zealand secondary schools rugby side. And the World Cup was in Australia. Granted, I still had to make the travelling squad, but rugby weren't so great in that situation. Cricket, I always remember Paul Wiseman was the man who I dealt with. He was Canterbury under-19s coach and involved in the New Zealand stuff, and he was like, play as much rugby as you want. If you get injured, well, that happens. If you don't, you can come and play cricket. Where rugby was sort of, and I guess rugby's a bit sterner and things that they do, a bit more strict. And it was, if you go play cricket, you're probably not going to make New Zealand schools because you're going to, I would have missed half the first 15 seasons. So, they can't justify picking me anyway. And I guess at that point in time, I was like, well, I wanted to play rugby. And so made that decision then, still not giving up on cricket, but obviously gave up on potentially playing at a World Cup, which was, I don't know, I think back then I sort of brushed it off, but now looking back, I wish I don't know, given it a crack and tried to do both, because there's some big names. I think from memory, Pat Cummins, he was over there.
Nice.
I think he was bowling thunderbolts back then too. He's a bit faster than what he is now, so I probably wouldn't have wanted to play against him. But anyway, made that decision then, and obviously made New Zealand schools. And then fortunate enough to get offered a couple contracts, one down in Canterbury and one up at Waikato. And the cricket were there or thereabouts as well at that situation, or that stage. But rugby was sort of where I wanted to go. You always have moments where you're like, should I have given that a go, or what would have been to happen? But that's life, you've got those decisions, and chose rugby obviously.
And why? And so you had the opportunity, Canterbury or Waikato.
Why?
Yeah. It's great. I mean, you've been a strong Waikato man for a long time now, but
I would definitely consider myself a Waikato man. And I guess the answer is, I don't know if I can, how honest I want to be, but I won't name names, but I had a meeting with Chiefs guys, Dave Rennie, Wayne Smith, and that was awesome. We had our New Zealand schools up here, and I went in and met all the guys, Phil Healy, the trainer, and obviously at Waikato, who was the head coach? But Chris Gibbs was head coach then. He did move on reasonably quick, but Mike Crawford and people who are still around now were all there, and it was, really felt like they were invested in a pathway, and they showed me where they saw me going and how I got there.
Cool.
And then I remember going to the Canterbury meeting with a player and coach, both very well known, and both of them and you don't expect to be known, but if someone's trying to sort of sign you in, you sort of think they'd do a little bit of homework, and both of them said they didn't know me from a bar of soap. And so you're sort of like, well, you're the one trying to sign me.
Yeah, you invited me to the meeting.
Yeah, I know I haven't really achieved anything here, but you just probably should have done some homework. And so it just went along the lines of that.
Yeah.
Which is no issue. I don't know if that's what everyone's meeting was like at Canterbury, and that was just an incentive to try and get better or whatever it was. But if you're shown a pathway and a way to achieve that path, then it just seemed like the better option at the time.
Yeah.
And made the move up, and that didn't all go smoothly, but it's great. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah. No, that's cool. So you played schoolboy rugby, chose to go up to Waikato. What are they, like you said, as a generic, or they set you up, but what do they expect of you in terms of, is it fitness levels, strength levels, size levels? You know, like they go, hey, we, want you to be 110 kgs, or we want you to be,
Yeah.
They have these real.
Well, it's interesting. I don't think, but they sort of do and they sort of don't. They, for me, I had to get to 115 is probably my optimum playing size, being a lock loosey. But I think I went up there at about 95 kgs, so I wasn't putting on 20 kgs in a year.
Yeah.
Turns out I got injured and was able to put on quite a bit of weight pretty quickly anyway.
Yeah.
But they sort of map it out, but it does also depend on how quickly you start moving up the ladder. So if you're playing club rugby, well, there's a whole lot of people running around at 100 kgs and you're not going to get banged up as much.
No.
Surely you're going up against men who are a bit more hardened than that.
Yeah.
So, the stronger you can be, it helps. And then if you're getting into the provincial stuff where you're going up against probably, semi-professional, but 90% of them are professional rugby players.
Yeah, definitely.
All year round, and they're in the gym and they're bigger and stronger and faster and heavier. So you have to jump up another level to say 110 kgs at the least. Yeah. And then, when you hit that super rugby, it's the big time really, and you don't need to necessarily be heavy. There's a whole speed and mass times whatever and this and that, which works, but the game gets, I don't want to say easier, but easier if you have that size behind you, because your contacts are a whole lot easier than what they were if you're running into, if you're 120 and I'm 110, well, I've got to run that much faster or do this much other things to change it. So they don't necessarily rush it on, but as a player I always felt, skinny white guy, that was something that had to be put on through just excessive eating and training. Strength in that I never struggled too much with. It was just the eating. You just feel sick. And I remember first year at the Chiefs, I was setting an alarm. Phil Healy had told me that Craig Clark used to set an alarm and he'd get up at midnight and have this massive thick protein shake, oats and all this jazz, and I was like, okay, I'll do that. And so you're then disrupting sleep just to have this chunky drink. But I put it on very quickly, but then your fitness becomes the issue, because all of a sudden I'm 10 kgs heavier and I can't run as fast as what I used to, or I just can't carry it. So I, in hindsight, definitely wish I took longer to put that weight on. But again,
if you could speak to it now, for young guys, because virtually every one of them will go through that sort of, whether they're 13, 18 or something. It's like, man, I just want to put on some size, I want to put it on. It's like, I just had a group of like 19-year-olds and they all fucking want to put on the size. What would be the tips, or how would you say to best put on the size within a healthy reason, to do it? Because I've had it all, and I'm just from an older generation, but is it the dirty eating or the dirty bulk? Is it, massive amounts of creatine and clean protein powder? Or is it all just chicken breasts, or is it a slamming KFC?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it probably depends what your genetic makeup is a little bit. Some boys can eat whatever they want and they don't put on any weight. Others...
Do you think that's because they're just doing the fitness, or is just like some dudes are just like blessed with this.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'd always had that mindset of trying to be the fittest person as well. So I was always trying to do that. So whether or not that helped or it was just my genetics being tall and skinny that allowed me to eat whatever I want. But then other boys could eat whatever they want as well, but weren't as fit, but didn't put the weight on. So I don't know. Everyone's got a pretty good idea of what they can and can't eat most of the time. I imagine you know what puts your weight on and what doesn't, and what you need to do. But yeah, I wouldn't go the dirty bulk, just because you feel terrible when you're eating all that stuff and you feel bloated and all that jazz. Just eat a heap of healthy food, and you've obviously got to lift a bit of weight. And again, there's the whole: do I lift heavy or do I hypertrophy? In the different body sizes and shapes are going to adapt quickly or slowly to different types of training programs. Yes, it's a hard question to answer because there's so many variables on there.
I think there's one of the things is, you probably said it though, is there is no easy answer, and you just have to experiment on yourself.
Yeah.
And it changes. I mean, that's it. I'm about to be 45. And so I don't need to eat virtually anything to maintain my size.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm now on the classic, but I don't eat from 8, I don't have breakfast. I don't have any of those things, I just have some lunch and maybe a little dinner, and I'll easily maintain 100 kgs, like it just, I meet people and they're like, oh man, you must eat all the time or do it. And like, not anymore.
Yeah.
It's just like, if I think about eating, I'll probably put on 5 kgs.
That's it, yeah. I know. And I obviously used to be the complete opposite. I had to eat and eat and eat.
Yeah.
It's a bit different in season, where at the moment I'm not playing as much. I'm the same. I can eat as a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner.
Yeah.
Where I used to have breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, snack before bed. And even then I was struggling to keep weight on.
Talk me through some of the records that you've seen in the gym, and like what sort of tin have you been coming across guys throwing around over the career? Because you've been on lots of different change,
Yeah. Well, obviously in every gym you go to, there's the record board. We're all rugby players, but we aspire to be the strongest and fastest and all that stuff as well. So some of the crazy ones are like Alad de Malmonch. 220 kg bench press. Liam Messam might have been 200 or was 195, something ridiculous. And yeah, it's sort of, at what point you don't need to be, when you're pushing 220 kgs on a rugby field or but this
what's your record on the bench?
My bench was 170.
Damn.
And I got to that, and my brother he's strong on the bench and loves it, and he'll keep trying to get to 200, where I'm sort of like, well, I'm strong and I can move the bar fast. I don't want to bench 200. It's just going to hurt my shoulders or whatever it is. So I was quite happy there. The power cleans and squats, some of those records are pretty good. I got reasonably good at power cleans. I think I had the record for at the Chiefs for about 2 minutes. I banged out whatever it was, might have been 145, and then Mama Vaiapulu, like number 8, whipped up 5 kgs heavier, and I was never going heavier than what I'd just done, and so that was the end of that. 2 minutes of, I don't even think it got written on the board. But I watched Ben Tamafuna squatted, it was 300 or something ridiculous, and just like down and up, and you're just standing there like, how is this guy doesn't even do weights? And he's just squatted this 300 or whatever it was. Siegfried Fissihoy, another prop, he used to hook his hands like that on the bar, which can't have been comfortable, and he banged out, he might have broken that record, whatever it was, 280 or 90 or 300. So there's some very impressive weights records out there. I don't know if the boys these days get as close to them as when I first started out. The Waikato ones haven't changed too much. Trying to think what's the records there. Chin-ups some of the boys go pretty good at chin-ups. Mitch Jacobson actually stole my chin-up record. I reckon he jumped from the bottom though. So
what was the chin-up record?
I think the current one is 186.5. So that's your weight plus the weight you lift.
Okay.
So he would have lifted about, what's he, 105, so 82.5 he might have had on him.
So you had 82 kgs on like the belt.
Underneath him, yeah.
And it was just one, is that one
So
from
one,
dead hang?
go to lift your legs up and then go.
Yeah.
If you got the right trainer, though, you can sort of go while they're looking the other way or whatever it is. But Mitch is, he loves the gym. He's been in there since he's about 5 years old, so he can have that record.
Awesome. What about for just straight numbers of pull-ups?
Don't know if we really measure that.
It's just the power.
But obviously, if you can do the heaviest weight, you're probably going to go close to doing the most reps. But it's more, strength and power and then speed through the lights. They used to do 40-meter, speed times and all that, but it's more just 10 meters basically these days. Especially for the forwards, we're not really in open space too much.
No. Why do you think the strength records haven't been getting broken as much lately? Is that rugby's changed, or it's...
I don't know. To be fair, I haven't been in Super Rugby for... it's only been a couple of years, but in saying that, it might just be that everyone's got really strong.
Yeah, it's just sort of hit a limit.
It's sort of got to a point where there might come another freak, Safai Moore, who's benching... I can't remember what he did when I was at the Canes, but again, it was something ridiculous, and he was just like this, over 200. And so it's just sort of, there has to be a limit on human nature.
Yeah, that's it. There's a limit on human strength at a certain point fundamentally.
Yeah, exactly. And until another, genetic freak comes along and breaks it, I guess it's probably just at that point, because everyone's training so much younger and they're getting up to points, and there's only the small things that make a difference. And
everyone's nutrition's on point. Everyone's going to be supplements.
And then I guess in the Waikato scene, the boys come back to that from Super Rugby, and they've been pushing themselves in the gym, and it's sort of, they're probably banged up, and I want to get through my gym so I can play well. It's not, I want to go and lift as heavy as I can in this gym session.
Yeah, that's it. You don't really have a pre-season for Waikato, is it? Because you're either playing club rugby or Super Rugby or something, and then you're coming straight into it, and it's like maybe 1 or 2 weeks, and then you're into the...
Yeah, I think last week we had 4 days at Waikato pre-season. Played a game and then started the following. Just the way the whole club comp, Super Rugby comp, everything rolled into it.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy, right?
Yeah, it is. It's pretty full on.
Yeah, it is what it is. And then I think they've got rid of that Storm Week, but that was another thing where you had 3 games in 8 days or 9 days. But I think it was put in for the World Cup in 2011 to get the comp shorter to start it, and then obviously it saves money for everyone at the other end.
Yeah,
and so here we are. We were still doing it up until last year was the first year without it, I believe.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
Anybody, just before I want to go down to the under-20s, but any of the small guys that were putting up some massive, I can't remember. It's like Christian Cullen back in the day that had like the bench press record and like in the 90s at the Hurricanes. And any dudes that you've come across in your career that, because it's one thing to see a prop or a ginormous lot, like, oh, well, what a surprise, Liam Mason's super strong.
Yeah, exactly. He lives in the gym.
Yeah.
You do. I think Damien, he might have squatted 200 or something one year, which for a guy who's, bugger all, in terms of body weight, that's very impressive. And they are all very strong, a little halfbacks and that. Because some, those short, stockier guys, they don't have to move as far either. So always maintain it's easier for them to.
Yeah, that's it. They don't have to go down as far.
Try to squat to 90 degrees, your back's gone before you're halfway down and all that sort of jazz. So, you do see some real impressive numbers from some of the smaller guys. And then as a bigger guy, you say, I've got to try and work a bit harder here just to keep up with these kids.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not a professional rugby player or anything, but one of the most shocking moments of my life would have been at least 15 years ago, maybe longer now, but when CrossFit had just started. So living in Auckland, went into Shane Cameron's CrossFit gym and realising that there were the 50 kg ladies doing overhead presses and cleans, and I'd just grown up on an era of just doing the bit, I couldn't even get my shoulders around that, and you're like, I'm getting outlifted by a woman half of my body weight. It's not even like the small dudes in the team.
Actually, you bring up a memory of mine, a very vivid memory of, and this woman was not small by any means. She was and you'll know who it is, Valerie Adams.
Yeah.
She came into the gym at the Chiefs, and obviously we do push press because it's a good exercise. And you walk up the stairs to go to the meeting, so it had a shower and whatever, and then we'd all just done push press, and she was in the rack just down below the stairs, and I was looking, and 20 kg ones are blue. She's got 2 blues on each side and a green, so 120 kgs, and she was just ripping it out. And we're all struggling to get 100 kgs up. She's just up there like absolute beast, eh? And you're like, what am I doing? I can't even, can't compete with that at all. And it's just like, obviously a great athlete.
Yeah.
And it shows that lift that way, you can throw a shot put pretty well.
Yeah, man. Just exceptional from it. But also, sometimes you just have to have your mind open. I was going to say it before, and we are getting stuck in weightlifting chat, but whatever, I enjoy it. It's the amazing thing of when you're working out with your mate or someone else, as you said, you hit your record and then someone other dude. It's like it sort of opens this possibility. It's so strange when someone's like, yeah, all right, I'll rate the 25s, and then everyone does it. And you're like, just the amount of times I've seen people hit PBs or do it with others, but they have to see someone else do it first. Or
and just having them around potentially to be a spotter or whatever it is, it just gives you a bit more confidence, and you're like, well, I might as well try it because he just did it. Or if he can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Yeah, it does make a huge difference.
Yeah, that must have been one of the coolest things actually about training in a large rugby team type gym scenario. It's just the amount of guys and the amount of the camaraderie and that would be going on all the time.
Yeah, and so when I know at the Chiefs and basically every team, when you're about to attempt a PB or a record on the board, there's a bell or something rung, and so everyone's then watching you, which is, hypes you up at the same time. You're like, God, I better make sure I get this now. Waste everyone's time. But that's awesome because it gives you that. It's the same feeling as playing a game of rugby in front of a big crowd, and that's what we strive for, that environment. Excuse me. So, it does make a big difference, I reckon.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I love weightlifting. Just that camaraderie at the gym. I was talking to the BMX boys, and they're like, the older they get, they just love hanging around the skate park, go for a ride in there, but it's for hanging around. As if you don't enjoy weights, doing weights with a group of mates can be the same thing. You can hit some sets and reps, but there's plenty of chat time in between.
Yeah, exactly. And the good thing about it is you're staying fit and healthy as well,
Absolutely.
2 birds with one stone.
Yeah, that's cool. New Zealand under 20s, so 2014, what was that like?
Yeah, it was awesome. So we were, I don't know, still unsure if it was fortunate enough or unfortunate enough to be in New Zealand for our under 20s.
Yeah.
So we were up in Auckland, which was pretty cool because obviously you got your friends and your family and all that. You can come be playing in front of New Zealand who love rugby, and the World Cup was 3 years prior and whatever. Yeah. But on the flip side, you missed out on going to France. Or you see all these boys go to these places now, and it's like, shit, why didn't we get to do that? I can drive to Auckland now, and here I am staying up there. But it was an awesome experience. We had some very good coaches. Talking about it today, actually, Chris Boyd was the head coach.
Yep.
Scott Robinson.
Oh, nice.
Topical was the our forwards coach, and Leo McDonald was the backs coach. And I'm probably missing someone out, so hopefully they don't get offended if they're watching this. But it was just from the get go. It was sort of, I came into it under an injury sort of cloud, I guess. But then when wasn't I under one of those? As we'll find out. But it was pretty awesome. I think we opened against Samoa. It's the first game of the tournament. Played a good game. We were sort of expected to win that one pretty comfortably, and then had to play South Africa. We're in our pool. Yeah. And our under 20s are notoriously just so much bigger than everybody else. Yeah. For whatever reason. Yeah. And so we lost that game. It was close enough, but we sort of weren't in it. But we managed to qualify because there's must be 3 pools. So one from each plus the next best qualifying. So we qualified to then play them in the semi-final again. Right. We had to beat Scotland by whatever it was. And the boys, we did a number on them, which was good. I nearly missed the rest of the tournament after that. That's the story, if you want to hear it.
Yeah, man. Broken heart.
So I came off the bench in that game, and, you're wanting to prove your point and whatnot. And so I've run through, jumped up to catch the ball, for whatever reason, didn't catch it. But you used to be able to jackal from the far side of the ruck.
Yeah.
You know, the law's changed now, so you can't do it. So I tackled and sort of spun to jackal, got cleaned out by their guy, basically back to my side.
Yeah.
I got penalised for tackling him in the air. Whether or not that's true, I'm not sure. But anyway, finish the game, go to the hotel, and the next day the coaches called me into the office or into their room or whatever it was. And I'm like, this is strange.
Yeah.
And we'd had, a couple of boys go down and whatever it was. And I was like, maybe they want to talk about something.
Yeah.
And they just straight up said, you've been accused of eye-gouging and you've got a judiciary hearing tomorrow. And I genuinely I laughed and like, yeah, okay. And the 3 or 4 of them, there's a manager as well, just staring at me. And I was like, okay, so this isn't a joke. Like, you're being serious. I'm like, yeah, you've got your thing. You're up for 16 weeks. Was the ban that I was up for. And so I was just like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
Like, clearly I haven't eye-gouged this person. And so I had to go the next day. Well, it was the day before the semi-final. So then I was starting, but had to train and swap in case I got banned for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And the Scottish guy walks in, he's got the tiny little scratch on his eye. And if I'm being perfectly honest, if I'm going to eye gouge someone, which I'm not,
I'm
going to stick my finger all the way into their eye, right? Because if you're going to get done, you're going to do it properly.
Yeah.
So I obviously didn't do this because and they showed all these videos, and had a pause in the thing. We went up, the lawyer who was looking after it said, look, I don't know how, you're pretty buggered here. We'll try and get it as short as you can go. I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
At 19 years old.
So what did they show? Just like some glancing?
Yeah, they showed some glancing, but it was from this strange angle. And then, so he's then told me I'm basically going to get found guilty, even though I know I haven't done this. And then we go back in and they show this other image, and I had my thumb strapped. I can't remember which thumb it was now. But no, sorry, I don't think I had my thumb strapped, but the hand that was hitting the guy was a thumb that was strapped. And so they hadn't showed that until this final bit. And then all of a sudden the judge started picking apart the Scottish appeal and had basically said the complete opposite to what he'd said before the break. And he just read all of the stuff off, and for whatever reason, I find you not guilty. And so I've gone from thinking I'm 16 weeks out, whole of Mitre 10 Cup gone, everything, to just nothing. It's not on my record. It was nothing.
Sweet.
Yeah. So that was, quite an interesting introduction to the.
And is that often how the judiciary works? Because from a fan perspective, you just have people like put on report, or we're going to be doing that, and then you hear, did they plead guilty? It's sort of an interesting one because you sort of hear, they're just better off pleading, just try and get 1 or 2 weeks, just say.
Yeah, I think.
But it's not, it's one of the few things that's not televised or, So.
There's never a write-up on what actually happened inside the thing. And obviously you hear of rugby league a lot with the judiciary, and they pay money or get a fine or whatever it is. So I've actually been again. I've ran into a referee, which was again going to be another big ban, but I was running off the back of a line out and didn't see him and got off it completely. But it was basically the same process. So I can assume that you get a lawyer and they come with you, and then you get questioned, they do their point of view, and then they basically decide on, it's just like going to court.
And there's specific, obviously, rugby lawyers that like their court of law or their specialty is rugby.
Yeah, so the 20s one was IRB because it's an IRB sanctioned tournament, and then I was playing for Waikato for the other one, so I had New Zealand Rugby trying to tell me I'm guilty, and I'm like, well, you're my employer, and here you are trying to dog me like this. And obviously I ran into the bloke, but you could see that I didn't know who it was. You just can't penalise something it's a game of rugby where you've run into people literally the whole game, right? And if you accidentally run into someone who you haven't seen, it's a bit rough. But as far as I'm aware, they're all pretty similar. But the high tackles in that, I believe you just get, if it's a red card, it's an automatic automatic 1 game ban, but then they'll give you 6 weeks. But if it's your first time, it gets halved for good behaviour. And then if you do a tackling course, one thing with your coach or whatever it is, you get another week off. So you get 2 weeks. Just don't do it again. And, you know, that's a bit of a slap on the wrist. But, yeah, as far as I was aware there.
Yeah, it's a funny one. I was just thinking of the fact that New Zealand Rugby is your employer. Then they're taking you off, and what are they going to do? Dock your pay or like tell you can't work? It's like
I know. And
having a go at your own staff.
Yeah,
being like, hey, you haven't been any good. You got to stay at home for a week or 2 weeks. And you're like,
any other job, you'd be like, okay, I'm not going to argue my case there. Sure, fair enough. I always talk to Mike Crawford, who's the manager still now. I give him a bit of shit because they told me I should. Again, we had a midweek game.
Yeah.
Like, we'll stand you down in case you get a 1-game ban, and then you'll be able to play the next game.
Yeah.
And then that was Canterbury, down in Canterbury, which would have been the first time I'd played them back at home since leaving. And obviously I ended up not getting any ban at all. I stood myself down for no reason, basically. Well, he stood me down. So give a bit of shit for that every now and then.
Yeah, good. All right, so what happened in the semi-final? So you get to start under 20s?
So we made the semi-final, and we were dominating the game.
Yeah.
And there was a couple moments. It's one of those games. Intercept pass, we were scoring, they're scoring.
Oh, yeah.
14-point try, you know?
Yeah.
And then there's a charge down or whatever it was. They scored another try. And so we've gone from blowing the game out to a victory to being within, I think it was 5 or 6 points.
Yeah.
And I remember I was full body cramps basically, so went off the field. And for that game, because they're so big and you don't have a huge lead in, so our maul defence wasn't quite up to stopping them. So we did the whole, we're going to stand off and then go around and tackle you at the back.
Yeah. Or
then hit it at the front and get a penalty. And it was working really well. And for whatever reason, in that last, they had a penalty kick to the corner. Someone hit the ball, obviously had a brain fade, and then they just obviously rolled through and won. But that wasn't the winning and losing. The winning and losing was the intercept and the whatever. And that's just, you know, part of rugby. Sometimes the best team doesn't win the game, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I still remember we had ice baths on top of the hotel we were staying at. South Africa was staying there as well. And so we're, you know, New Zealand rugby is very formal and professional.
Yeah.
And we were in the ice baths and that, and these big Jesse Creel and his brother who fully just jacked. The most ripped people you've ever seen. And they're just up there. I don't want to throw them under it, but I think it was them just having a dart on top of the thing, and we're doing all this recovery. And it's like, these guys have beaten us twice as well. But they just had some freak athletes, Halo Sappers, some massive boys.
Yeah.
Just men against boys, basically, at that stage. And then we played Ireland at Eden Park. That was the first game at Eden Park for all of us, I'd say. In the third and fourth, and I think we put 30 or 40 on them. Like, we were still pretty good. So we had a very stacked team in terms of people who went on to play professional rugby, but didn't quite get the job done, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, that's cool. But there was that, and then you play the first season for Waikato the next year after that, 2015, or was you play Waikato?
Yeah, so Waikato was post that as well, 2014, but in the semi-final, I think it was. I get a lot of shit for it, actually, because I made a break down the sideline off the kickoff, and then I got ankle tapped. Otherwise, I was away. Maintain that to this day. But anyway, however it happened, I've rolled my ankle quite badly, and then so ended up having to have surgery and miss the whole Waikato season. So then kicked on to that 2015. Again, I'd had another surgery during the club season on my knee, and it actually ended up being a better result than what they were thinking. So that got me back in time, and then played every game bar that Canterbury one I had to stand myself down for. And we weren't that strong. Again, we had a whole lot of, you know, young boys. Damien, Anton, self, Atu Moli, Togan, all basically half our New Zealand 20s team. but you're now playing against men and doing this whole everyday professional environment, and we just didn't click until we did, which was the Ranfurly Shield game, the last game of our season.
Yeah.
I think we'd won 2 games or something. It was pretty disappointing, maybe 3. And then we roll down there, average age of 21 or something, probably. Josh Honick was there. He was probably the oldest head at 28 or 29.
Wow.
Acted like he was about 45 though, and he probably still does.
Yeah.
And Jordan Traynor was on debut. I'm not sure if you know Jordan Traynor. He's had a few injuries and that, but he was a fullback. So Sean Stevenson at fullback, and Geordie debuted on the wing. And if you go back and watch that game, it would have to be the greatest debut in NPC history.
Awesome.
Everything he touched turned to gold. I think he scored 2 or 3 tries, set up another one with kicks and whatnot. And we're going into the sheds, and it was like 30 points to 5 at half time. And you're like, sort of, we're in this situation we haven't been in all year, and we're about to win, well, hopefully about to win the most historical trophy in New Zealand rugby. And then fast forward, with 5 minutes to go in the game, or 1 minute to go in the game, and it's 36-30, and marching down the field to get down the other end and score the winning try, and we'll just give them, I gave away a penalty, someone else, we're just piggybacking them down into our territory. Anyway, we obviously, I think shooter Stevenson got a turnover, a penalty, and Bob's your uncle. And the beauty thing about that was, obviously, we were all young.
Yeah.
We've just won the Shield, but our season's finished. So we have no obligation next week. We just were having the time of our lives, we'll put it that way, for about a week. I think there was a few articles of a golf cart being driven around a supermarket parking lot and all these things. Nothing bad, but people like to write things about things, and it was a pretty awesome way to finish the season. Yeah,
well, the Shield is one thing where people seem to still be able to vicariously enjoy whoever's winning its enjoyment of it, rather than in rugby in particular, it can be like, as you sort of alluded to with New Zealand rugby, can be so uptight, like, don't celebrate a try, don't celebrate a win. It could always be better, you know, whereas the Shield seems to be one thing, when someone pulls it off, it's just like, take it around the town, rest homes, take the Shield out to party, you know. Yeah,
and I mean, if you have the Shield and then you're defending it, we always talk about you don't defend it, and I'm sure 90% of the teams say this as well. You have to win it each week.
Yes.
So basically the mindset is, we'll celebrate like we've won it each week. So your season is 100 times better if you've got the Ranfurly Shield, because you just, I don't know, you're going to get them pissed after the game, whatever it is. Short turnarounds, even then you're like, well, right, do what you want, but we're back home at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's go for gold. So it's just, and the first thing that I imagine all teams do is get the schedule. Where's the Ranfurly Shield? Who can we, who has to win for it to come into our lane of pools? Like, I already know that Otago have it. I think we play them round 4.
Yeah.
They might have 1 or 2 defences. You just hope it's against someone shit, and they're not, they're not going to lose, and you can turn up there and have a challenge for it.
Yeah.
Because it's bloody awesome, eh? Obviously, we've won a couple championship and a premiership, but the Shield, it's just something else, the history behind it.
Would that be the highlight of the Provincial Rugby, winning the Ranfurly Shield? Or where does it say, or is it just different?
It's just different.
Yeah.
Winning the premiership was pretty awesome, because Waikato's only done it, I think we were the 3rd. We'd obviously won the championship in 2018, which was a great season as well. But you sit back and you're like, okay, well, we just got 8th or 7th.
Yeah.
We might have been the best team in the comp, but we got relegated the year before, so we haven't really won anything. But the Shield is, I don't know, something about it that just excites you to play for it. And you know that the opposition is equally as excited. And
everyone's going to play their absolute best. People are watching.
Yeah.
Every other team's interested. There's a genuine interest. People might not really care with Manawatu. Manawatu will care if they're playing South. But, if there's a Shield on the line, or they might get the challenge, they might be the next challenge, suddenly it all changes around.
Sorry. And it's one of those games where, we've only got one game to win the Shield. So we'll chuck some plays in there that we're never ever going to do that might surprise them. Look cool if we score or whatever, So your training week is more fun as well, because you're not going to do that in the premiership final.
No.
You're going to go in there and it's going to be Canterbury Rugby, kick to the corner, scrum and maul, and win it in a tight tussle. Where it's expensive rugby. It tends to be unless you're South End and you narrow those fields in, however long they did that for. You're playing rugby. It's pretty awesome.
So who did you have in the challenge the next year? Were you injured, or were you able to come back? 2016, you guys got the Shield. Did you guys go and take it to like Timaru or Whangārei Bush? Or?
Who did we play? I know we played. It was Thames Valley, I think.
Oh yeah.
In Hautapu.
Oh yeah.
On the field there, and it had rained, and that field just tends to mush.
Yeah.
And it was, we weren't going to lose, but it was closer than it should have been. And you sort of like, shit, we better not lose this. You always, if you don't have it, you always hope they lose that game, right?
Yeah. That's always the dream of virtually everyone, even the supporters. Like, that's just like the ultimate underdog story. 100%. What if Thames Valley does win?
I always think about it, and then I'm like, geez, what does New Zealand Rugby do? Do they let it just do the rounds for a year, and then it'll go back up the foot? Send the strongest team down there to get it back? But it'd be pretty cool, and it'd be great for.
I think it would be gold.
Right? Yeah. Unfortunately, it's probably not good. Well, hopefully, it doesn't happen when I'm playing.
Yeah.
If it happens to anyone else, it'd be great. So we had a 20. I think we only had one of those. Tier 2 games, and then we played North Harbour was our first defence that year. Up, obviously at Waikato, second game of the season, and that was when I ruptured my ACL for the first time actually. And we're up. Well, I remember we're up 19-0, just demolishing them. And then, obviously, I did my ACL. Still probably the most painful, because I did a whole lot of other stuff, painful thing anyway. And I've never forgiven our doctors. They'll tell you otherwise, but they just chucked me in the medical room. No green whistle, I gave me 2 Panadol, and I'm in the most pain of my whole entire life. Anyway, so then I'm like, well, bugger this. And I walked back out at half-time, just after half-time. And I don't know if they were winning, but the game had it's rugby, right? Ebbs and flows. And it was like 19-18 or whatever it was, and we ended up winning the game by 1 or 2, where we should have just kicked on and absolutely smoked them. And then we played Taranaki with the Shield. Obviously, I wasn't playing anymore, but they scored a 100-metre try, which went back for a forward pass, and we ended up drawing. And there's no extra time, and so we kept the Shield. And then we played, Canterbury came up with half the Crusaders in their team. And I think they pipped us by 1 point. 1 or 2. And that was that gone for a wee while. It's pretty gutting when you lose it. But the beauty of it is you're still a potential chance to get
and then it's just like, okay, who has to beat Canterbury?
Who can we find out? So it was a pretty cool first experience with the Shield.
And so did you play Super Rugby in between that and winning the Shield and then rupturing the ACL?
I signed with the Chiefs. Well, signed a full contract finally with the Chiefs. I'd always sort of been thereabouts, but just injuries and whatever other reason. So I'd had 1 season with them at that stage, played 3 or 4 games. I was a bit injured as well, like a hernia issue and just little niggles that keep you out for a couple of weeks here and there. But it was a good year of learning, and that was when I put on the size that we talked about before. And when I got to that Mitre 10 Cup season, I really felt like, okay, now is my time. And then you go and blow your ACL. And you sort of, you're young and whatever, and it all sort of, why me? Well, I'd like to think I didn't really say why me. It was sort of get to here, but you're just a bit gutted about it all. Which everyone understands, right? And then the timing of how it works is you're now out for most of the next Super Rugby cycle as well, season. So I signed for 2 years, and then I got back. Back then you come back from ACL after 6 months. And I got back, played a club game. It clicked funny. And I didn't really feel that comfortable. And then I remember talking to some of the physios. I was like, I don't really want to. I need more time.
Yeah.
And I got the impression that it was like, well, you've played, so you can keep playing. And at 21, you're like, oh, okay.
All right, boss.
Sweet, I'm playing club rugby. Why can I just not train and get better and not do that? But that actually ended up coinciding, leading to the Provincial Barbarians. It was 2017.
Yeah, it does.
So I got maybe one Chiefs game back, but again, I didn't feel ready for rugby. Even at the Barbarians, I didn't feel ready for rugby, especially international rugby. But a game like that, you're fully, in the Super Rugby games, you're fully immersed in it. But it's those little subtleties where I don't feel like I can step because something's there. And then it turned out that I had just torn all the meniscus again.
Oof.
So later on down the track, when I went to Whangārei, first game, we'll play you 60 minutes. And at the 75th minute, you're still on the field, take it from behind and it just bucket tear, stuck at 90 degrees.
Oof.
And so that was what was giving me the ick, basically.
Yeah.
But played the whole Waikato season after that, which was good. And we were okay that season.
Yeah.
Just, there or thereabouts. And we're never going to win, but we were.
Yeah.
Probably should have been better, but we're.
Yeah. Strong. Classic rock. Waikato. Yeah.
I'd like to think we're a bit better than that now, but.
Well, I think Waikato's always strong. You know, every year it's strong. It's, and goes for, it's just from an outside perspective, which is probably easier to have than being inside and being in it. There's always just such a change around. You've always got heaps of All Blacks, heaps of Super Rugby guys, heaps of good guys coming up from the club scene. Or sometimes,
well, I think the stat,
and it just goes through so quickly. You're just like, it'd be nice to win it all and win the championship every year, but whatever it is. But,
exactly. And I think,
but there's a lot of good teams. There's always half a dozen good teams.
Yeah, and it's almost the team that gets the least injuries.
Yeah,
and as bad as it is to say, the least amount of All Blacks of their good players.
Yeah.
And I think for the last couple of years, we've had the most All Blacks as a province, which is great. And, kudos to those guys. But obviously that affects your Waikato team because they're contracted players. So for half the year, Waikato assumes, not all of them, Damien and Anton are going to be All Blacks every year.
Yeah.
But they're assumed they're going to be there, and then they play well and make the All Blacks. Well, they've been preparing, but they're not actually even contracted. So you've got to bring these boys in to try and bring them up to speed a bit quicker than what would have been. Yeah. And it obviously affects you, and then you got the whole Super Rugby for 6 months. There's injuries.
Yeah.
You come in with niggles, and boys go out, and it's whoever has the fittest team and the least amount of All Blacks.
Well, that's even the fact that, bless them, but the Chiefs and, there's a lot of Waikato players. But if you're making a final 4 years in a row, that means there's a whole lot less off-season or even just rest. So you're just going straight into it. So
that's it, less time to get more prepared and fix the AC or whatever it is. So it all plays a part, but everyone's got to deal with it, right?
Yeah. But in that sense, it's just, I think they always do well year in, year out. So it's not as... I'm not as stressed about it, maybe. It's being in the camp and wanting to win every game.
Yeah.
Zebra, what was it like Italian rugby?
It was interesting.
It sounds like they treated you like a mercenary from the day one.
I got off the plane on a Thursday, flying 20 hours, 10 hours, Hong Kong, layover, whatever. Got there, and they're like, okay, we need you to play this weekend, which was fine. That's what I'm there to do, right? Play rugby. I was like, sweet. We'll give you 60 minutes. Well, they might have asked me, and I said 50 to 60, fine. Because 40, get a break, away you go. And then we're playing Munster, which is a team that you like. They beat the All Blacks back in the day. So you hear these stories growing up. So, cool, I'm going to play for Munster. Good mate of mine, Reece Marshall, his Waikato hockey the last couple of years, and Chiefs, obviously. He was playing for Munster as well, so I'm going to catch up with him my first 3 days back in Italy. And as I said, I got to like the 75th minute or whatever it was. Why am I on this field still? And just got caught from behind. I think it might have been another ankle tap and grabbed and then just locked up completely. The good thing over there is because they got all the football and and their medical side of things is crazy. They've got their own MRI machines and all this jazz. I got straight off the field. They spent about 10 minutes trying to straighten my leg out, which I wasn't too impressed with, because it wasn't happening.
Yeah.
And then they took me to straight to hospital to an MRI machine, which again, you got to have a straight leg to go on the MRI machine. And so they had to jam the thing down, and they found out straight away what the issue. I think everybody knew what the issue was. And then the next day I went to Milan, because the Brae's in Parma, which is about an hour and 20 below Milan.
Right.
So I got driven up and had surgery the next day. So it all, in New Zealand, you know, healthcare system's not that good.
No.
Not that quick anyway.
No.
And so it was all good in that aspect. But so many differences in the hospitals, because I've had a few surgeries in New Zealand by this stage. And just before I was about to leave the hospital, they're like, hang on, we've got to pull this out. And I knew that there was a drain in my leg, but I assumed it was in like that.
Yeah.
And this guy is just pulling and pulling and pulling. And there was about this much, just on my knee. Didn't stitch up the hole, nothing. Put a plaster on it. And away I went back to Parma. And then, because obviously you're an overseas player, they try to rush you back into to play. And so then had a few issues. They changed physio and got this guy, Matteo, who he was young and real keen on learning and having new and innovative ways of rehabbing and all this stuff. And to this day I still reckon that he almost kickstarted my career again, because the rehab and stuff he did, he just got everything feeling good, not only my knee, which hadn't been good since the ACL. He just got it all going well. So yeah, got back, played about 3 or 4 more games, and it was back to New Zealand basically. And I think I came back into club rugby and just playing, you know, week after week, feeling good, just getting better at rugby again was huge. And so I look at Italy, and the lifestyle in that was amazing. Yeah. We were done by 12 o'clock training, because they have a sleep at 2 o'clock, whatever it is. Stay out late, have a wine and whatever, come to training. And your days, it's pretty cool lifestyle. And it was in an old town, like it was a ring, like a castle almost, was it, you know? So it was a cool place to be. And then obviously that rehab side of things was great. And then sort of flowed into that 2018 season at Waikato, and we won that championship.
Which club were you playing for?
In Hamilton.
Waikato,
Hamilton Maris.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Everyone gives you a bit of stick for playing for the Catholic teams for whatever reason. But you know, I was coming from St Bede's. I was always going to go to Marist up here. And but it's a great club, I reckon. There's some awesome people around, and you know, they've done some good things. Good things. I'm not. I got Quentin the support, 'cause he's here with Hull Tapper, but you know, like, well, everyone's Hull Tap these days, eh?
Well, that's it. But I don't know. You guys seem to get one over them. So
well, we need to get one more. Well, provided we make the final, and it'd be a good way to finish up. Get that 3-peat.
Yeah. Depends on who you talk to. Cool. So that would be 2018. 2019. What would have happened then? Well,
2019 to 2018, Johnny Gibbs was our coach, actually.
Yeah.
And so that was a great year for all of us.
Yeah. What was he like?
He was awesome. He'd be top 1 or 2 coaches, I reckon, that I've had.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I don't know if it was the fact that he came in and we had such a short amount of time, but we had a young team, a few of us, you know, playing Super Rugby or professional rugby, but he just came in, basically, this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it. Our meetings were 20 minutes, and you didn't sit there. Sometimes a rugby meeting can drag on. I'm a huge advocate for short, sharp meetings. You know, I don't need to see 10 clips. I need 1 clip and tell me why. Yeah. And then we actually started the season 0-3, but nothing changed. We didn't change anything because we just believed in that. Yeah. And then we won every single game, apart from we lost it. We won the Ranfurly Shield that year as well. Yeah. Down in Taranaki, and then we lost it in the last defence. Against Otago. which was frustrating.
Yeah.
But then we smoked them in the final, which was a nice comeuppance, but you almost rather the Shield, I think.
Yeah, well, there, that answers the question. Yeah.
Div 2 championship anyway at that stage. So that was a cool year. And then I actually ended up at Toshiba in Japan post that.
Yeah.
Michael Leach had been at the Chiefs a couple of years before, and I always got on pretty well with Leachy. And personally, I'd had a pretty good season in that 28. I sort of got my stride again and felt good, like I said. So he gave me a call and said that they needed a medical joker, and off I went over there.
Yeah.
But in the final, I'd actually I played 3 minutes. I got folded. Got the ball, 2 people, tried to carry hard, just 2 good tackles, and got my foot caught under. Tore my cartilage in my knee, but I had a very sore foot.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm not going to not go because my foot's sore. So I went over there and I was running around sort of on my heel. I could play enough, but I wasn't playing how I was playing in New Zealand. It was pissing me off a little bit. Eventually I said, look, can you scan my foot because it's sore?
Yeah.
And I've always found over there that if it's nothing that is life-threatening, they're probably just not going to tell you.
Yeah.
So I found in hindsight.
Yeah.
So they're like, your foot's okay. And I'm like, well, I'm not sure it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, I played over there. I think there was only 7 or 8 games left in the season. And that was a pretty awesome experience. We had Leachy, Richard Kahui, a couple of Safa boys, and it was just a good crew.
Yeah.
And pretty awesome to experience that Japanese lifestyle.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got back to...
What city in Japan is Toshiba?
Toshiba's in Tokyo, so they're in Fuchu, which is Rugby City, because you got Fuchu and then Suntory at the other end. So it was a cool spot to be. You're about 40 minutes into Shibuya or Shinjuku.
Yeah.
A couple good golf courses, sort of 30, 40 minutes the other way. And yeah, so it's a good spot.
Yeah.
And then I came back and went up to the Blues, 2019 it must have been.
Yeah.
And was sort of, my foot had started to feel a little bit better at that stage, so I felt a bit better on my feet. And then we played a game up in Kaikoui, pre-season game against the Chiefs. Feeling good again, blah, blah, blah. Get dropped in a line out and land on thought it was my tailbone. And it was sore.
Yeah.
But you're never going to stop playing rugby because you got a sore tailbone.
No.
So I played the game. Adrenaline helps, obviously. Woke up the next day. I was like, God, that's not very good. Hobbling around. Got a scan and I'd broken my sacrum.
Oh, Jesus.
So whatever it was.
Yeah.
Just cracked it. And that I then said, can you scan my foot for me as well? Because my foot's been sore. And so they scanned it, and I'd had it was either a break or a stress fracture in my foot for how I played 10 games or 12 games on this broken foot. And I was just like, why the hell have I been doing this? To then go and break my sacrum. So it's just like, one of those things that happens in rugby, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been nice if Toshiba had told me that there was a break or a fracture or whatever it was.
So did that end the season with the Blues, or how'd that go in 2019 then?
Yeah, well, so they kept saying to me, you've got 4 weeks and the bone will heal. And so basically I'd go back up every 3 or 4 weeks and they'd scan it.
So you're still living down here in Hamilton?
So I'd gone back to Hamilton. I was an injury replacement at that stage. And then... But I believe someone was out for a long term, so I was going to be in there. It would have been good. Yeah. But so kept going back and kept getting told, nah, your crack's it's not healing. So you can't play because you've got an unstable spine, which is not great. No. And so I just waited it out, and then I got an injection in it, which ended up finally helping the situation. And that was way down. The Super Rugby had finished, and we were heading into Midas and Cup. So got into some full training, and then I remember went out for dinner with my dad. He was up from Christchurch. I just remember sitting there, like I just had this pain right where that was, and sweats and everything. Like, geez, I've broken this at training today. And woke up. We were playing a pre-season the next game in Aotearoa against Taranaki, which don't really want to play that game anyway, to be honest. But I couldn't. I just got up. I was like, no, I think my thing's broken again. It felt like the first time I did it.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, it had got infected where the break was, or it was a polyneedle cyst. Mm-hmm. And so I got rushed into, I didn't need to be rushed in, but they rushed me into, it was going to be quicker to get it cleaned out surgically than to then try wait it out and potentially do that at the other end. Mm. And so I still remember I got back for the second game of the season, and we're playing in counties, because when you have the clean out, they leave the hole open because you can't shut it because it's empty underneath it, which is a bit yuck to be talking about, but anyway. And so I had to get it packed with filling and then strapped over in there. Yeah. Wouldn't have been the first time, but the timings had all mucked out with traffic or whatever it was, and so the meeting got rushed, and so we're having this team meeting, and I'm leaning over chairs with my pants down while the doctor's basically wiping my ass in this team huddle, and everyone's sort of looking at me and I'm looking down. Andrew Strawbridge was the coach, and I don't think he was very impressed. I was like,
it wasn't bringing that sort of gravity to the meeting.
Nah, I was like, shit, I better play well today. Anyway, folded into that season, and it was all fine after that, which was nice. We were sort of not where we were the year before, but it was a pretty good season. Yeah. A few more downs and ups, but yeah, it was good. And that I've had no more issues with that, which has been nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
So then 2020 Super Rugby.
Yeah, I signed with the Blues after midway through that season, and then got up there, going good. Play the first pre-season, come back, go play the second pre-season, get the ball, go to step, fall over, snap ACL. So you do the whole pre-season, and away you go. And there was a whole bit of issue with, was it snapped or is it partially snapped? But then it was a graft, so it was never going to heal. Yeah. So had it repaired, big, massive surgery. This one, they chucked another ligament in basically up the side as well, and obviously missed that whole season. Yeah. Missed the whole Waikato season. So yeah, literally didn't play any rugby, and just sort of was sitting around. Met my wife.
Nice.
So I just met her before I did my ACL in 2019. So I had her there, which was nice. Yeah. We were living together. So you're obviously concerned, but there's more to rugby than more to life than rugby. Come back, do all the rehab with the Blues, because they were still invested in me, which was nice to know. But whether or not there was a contract was the other thing. Because I was going to miss the Mitre 10 Cup, they weren't going to be able to see if I was, I wouldn't have played. Yeah. And it was 50-50 or probably less than that. They might have just had me in to train if not, but, that's not going to pay the bills. Yeah. And then Chris Tyndall, he was at the Chiefs way back, and he'd gone to the Brumbies. He was in behind the scenes. He gave me a call randomly and was like, do you want to come to the Brumbies? Yeah. And I was like, I had nothing, literally had nothing. So, we'll pop over. Yeah. And so Court and I moved over to Canberra for...
So did you go over first, or you just thought, no, just roll the dice, why not?
Sent the thing, signed it. Obviously had to do a medical check as well when I got there. Yeah. Wasn't fully fit at that stage, but they were happy enough to do the rest of the pre-season and away you go. And again, it worked out awesome in terms of... I think it was called Pitch Ready, which was a whole thing designed to return from injuries and get balance back in the body. So it did all this testing in this indoor cricket venue. You had to... I can't remember if you had to step to the light or away from the light, but whatever way it was the wrong way in my head. So the amount of times that I mucked it up, I did it about 50 times more than I was meant to. So it was just to check how you stepped off each foot. And if you go the wrong way, it would fail straight away. So I was too dumb to figure out these lights. But anyway, then they give you your program and away you go. Yeah. And so I got back to feeling really good again after the ACL, because... You do your second one and you're a bit concerned, so it's just going to keep happening. Yeah. Because I was complete non-contact when I snapped it the second time. Yeah. And I was, adamant I'll strap my knee for the rest of my career and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I haven't strapped my knee since.
Oh, yeah, cool.
So yeah, got back, played a few games, feeling pretty confident, and then we played the Rebels in Melbourne, and caught the ball for kick-off, and I was playing 6, so I was back and just hadn't had much ball in the game, so I'll just run hard.
Yeah.
Went and then stepped to this guy, but someone else hit me there as he hit me as well.
Yeah.
And just snapped my rib cartilage. But on both sides, so I snapped it into pieces, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So that bit there was floating and that bit there was floating.
Yeah.
And I could not breathe. Like, can you play? And obviously you're like, I'm trying. I'm trying. But the worst thing about that was we flew home straight after. And I remember they injected something straight into me to try, and nothing was doing anything. So that sort of buggered up about 6 or 7 weeks. And it was that COVID season where we played the Aussie comp and then basically flew here to play. So I missed the Kiwi League. And but besides that, I was all set to go back to the Brumbies. Like, we loved it over there.
Yeah.
Made some really good friends and just great bunch of lads.
Do they train in the same place as the Raiders, or is it separate facilities?
Nah, separate. So the Raiders are by, what's the stadium called? GIO.
Yeah.
At the front of it. It's the whole AIS Institute of Sport there.
Oh, yeah.
And then we were over by one of the universities, not too far away, but not at the ground. But good facilities anyway. Yeah. So yeah, we were all set to go back for another year.
Yeah.
And then I was an international player though, because obviously being from New Zealand, and they'd only get 2 or 3, and they needed a 10, someone else, and so they're like, no, we don't need a lock. We need, because 3 of the locks made the Wallabies. And you're not going to sit there and be like, well, why? Because it's fair enough. But you need a 10, and I'm not a 10, so away you go. So back to New Zealand, we came to Waikato in 2021. Yeah. And then we won the season that year. We spent most of it over in the Mount because of the COVID lockdown and all, let's not go there.
That's the craziness.
Let's not get political. So yeah, that was a cool season, because I've really felt the benefit of the Brumbies time.
Cool.
Personally, and then the boys, we had Ross Filippo had come in.
Nice.
Swains. Was Tomo there then? Yeah, we just had it was a fresh coaching crew, new, younger, just recently finished playing. And then I think just with how it worked out, going over there, everything was real short and sharp, and the team just gelled and adapted to that, and it worked out really well. Yeah. And then it all opened up, and we managed to have the final back at Waikato Stadium. Yeah. And that was pretty cool.
That's nice.
Wasn't a very big crowd, but there was still some restrictions.
Yeah, people were all scared.
Yeah. And that season, honestly, we were basically the South African team. We just line out, maul drive, kick it, 200 plus tackles a game. And that's really the rugby that's going to win you the championship at the end of the day. Yeah. And we won the final. And again, this goes back to that 20s. We won the final with 2 intercepts. But we defended to put the pressure on. Whether or not they were doing that at 20s, I can't remember, but tell the story like they weren't. Yeah. So yeah, we managed to win that, which was
that's true.
A highlight. Yeah. Big highlight.
Yeah, it's been cool. And so that rolled into the Blues for the next year then?
Yes, yep. So
how was it going over? Let's ask at this point of the career, when you're going to try and negotiate a contract or with the manager, it must be starting to go, James Tucker, he's a little bit injury prone.
Yeah. Well, I did.
That rumour might have gone around.
Yeah, I believe it was out there. I had my first knee surgery when I was just turned 15. Yeah. Well, yeah, Hagen
got into it young.
Yeah, Hagen Schulte, we had a kick off, and the plan was me run through, catch the ball, and he kicked it to the wrong spot. So I've never never forgiven him for that. Yeah. Anyway, I tackled the guy and spun around, bounced, and tore some cartilage and whatever. Yeah. So since then was sort of the knee issue. Yeah. That's a different knee to the ACLs. So yeah, the injury prone thing was there. Yeah. And then they throw words, around like resilience. And that really used to get me.
Yeah.
He's not resilient enough. Because for me, resilience, sure, there's physical resilience, and I might not be able to do anything about that. But I've come back from every single injury.
Yeah, that seems strange to me because I don't read the negative rugby press. I like watching the games and I'm like a fan, but I don't. The odd times that I come across it, I'm like, why are you guys hating on these dudes so much? It's not like you could get out there. Like, it just doesn't, it's just not my thing. I'm like, why do you care? Like, why do you care so negatively? It's like when they're bagging Artie Savia or something. It's like, man, anyway, so they're not my thing. So,
I know.
So, but then the word resilience is the ability to come back from overcome obstacles. Like the worse it is, and coming back is what shows resilience.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my opinion anyway.
Yeah.
So you get these words thrown at you and you're like, well, bug you.
Yeah.
And so those things would get me. It motivates you to go and be better. And
demonstrating resilience. Actually.
Exactly, yeah. To show more resilience of the lack of resilience you supposedly have.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously that was thrown around and the Blues were, I guess at that stage I'd had a super season.
Yeah.
I don't know if they knew about the ribs. They might have thought I'd just been dropped for a period of time.
Yeah.
And then a good Waikato. So you're sort of proving that you're all right.
Yeah.
Turned up, I think I signed for 2 years. Or actually, So I signed for 1 year. And if I got to this part of the year without being injured, I got my next contract. So it's like, cool. I'm at this point, I'm 27 or something, not even old enough to shouldn't have been there, but managed to do that. So I had 2 years at the Blues. That first year we made the final, and that was an awesome year.
Yeah.
And then it ended a bit sourly for me personally. I don't really want to talk about that, but didn't play the final after playing a big part in the season before that.
Yeah.
And plenty of people know the reason. We don't need to talk about it here because I've had enough about that. But it was a great season, and then had another year the next year, and was playing good consistent rugby, which was nice.
Yeah.
Had the odd I moved on to the odd head knock at this stage. So a couple of weeks here or there, nothing major, which was quite nice. 22 at Waikato, we were defending champions. Probably didn't achieve what we should have achieved. Didn't reach our potential, I guess. We still had a really good side. Probably a better team. More rounded team. But that's rugby. Someone just beats you on the day and semis or quarters. And then the Blues, we made the semis and the Crusaders put 50 points on us.
Yeah.
Down again.
Classic.
That was, we'd gone down 2 days earlier. You're always confident going into a rugby game, especially you're the top 4 teams, so you can all play. And then, Jesus, half time we were down by like 35-0.
Yeah.
And you don't give up, but it's like, it's not going to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to turn this around.
You're going to need a few miracles in the first 10 minutes. So.
Yeah, and then when you come out and they score a try straight away, it's just like,
miracle's not turning up.
No, it's not our day, unfortunately. Duff turned up and played really well, and we've missed a few things and whatever, and it's just Chiefs and Hurricanes this year. It was basically that, but a semi-final.
Smoke the Crusade, it is.
Yeah.
What was Roger Tuivasa-Sheck?
Yeah,
how was he in trade? Like we spoke earlier about dudes that are going hard in the gym and that, but what was he like trying to transition or transitioning from league to rugby at that point?
Yeah, no, he was just an absolute professional around everything he did.
Yeah.
Which I always was interested to see how the league boys went around what they did, because I've never been in the environment, didn't really know any of them.
Yeah.
And it's probably like rugby. There's some that are and some that aren't. But he was real professional. We were next to each other in the locker room.
Yeah.
But he's always on top of his rehab if he needed it. All that. Always trying to learn, because you got to learn to replay rugby, I guess, after being a leaguey for so long. But yeah, he's just an absolute freak athlete. He was big enough where you had to be going forward to hit him, even at my size.
Yeah.
but then he could step to the other side of the room and like that. And so you can't be going forward too hard because then he's just going to go.
Just go step, yeah.
And I think I can't remember if it was the 23 or 22 at the Blues. We played Auckland up in Auckland, and he was playing. And he stepped me from so far away, I don't even think it counted as a missed tackle. But I was trying to get him.
Yeah.
And I just started laughing on the field. I don't think I've ever laughed. And Adrian Chodel, one of the Auckland boys, started laughing as well. We'll just move on from that. It was just ridiculous, eh? Like, freak athlete.
Yeah, good.
And just a real nice guy as well.
Yeah. No, that's cool. It's certainly seems like that even more modern athlete that's coming through. I just noticed I was chatting to someone, but just came strong faith, but like his parents were like CrossFit athletes or like owned a CrossFit gym or something. It's just like how professional kids are getting young, even whether they're getting forced to or not. It's just the type of environments that people are growing up to become a professional athlete. Yeah. Maybe it was Ollie Pringle. One of these guys would just say the ability to just come from just ho-hum is just shortening down more and more and more. It's like, okay, well, what's your genetics, but what are you growing, like you're hitting the gym and the nutrition and all these things.
Yeah, and I think you look at Hamilton Boys High.
Yes.
They were the first school that they were doing gym in the morning, training at night, basically every day of the week. They were training more than the Waikato side. Mm-hmm. And yes, the players who I then came into the Waikato team with, saw them go, were extremely professional. But how many guys have you burnt out?
Yeah.
Because you're now training for free. And you don't think about it like that at school, obviously, but before school, got to go to school and then do training after school every day of the week.
Yeah.
It must have an effect on some of them because the conversion rate wasn't that high for a school that was achieving so much.
Yeah, well, I think then you get into this one is where I've been involved with rowing for a few years. My daughter was rowing, and it blew me away. I'd never rowed before, had anything to do with it. And I was like, I've been coaching the boys' first 11 hockey, and people are like, you want them to train twice a week and, do fitness. And I'm like, yeah, it will probably help. They run all game. Like that's...
Yeah.
So you're having that argument. Then the same school's letting kids train 14 times a week to do rowing.
Yeah.
But what I then observed was it sort of goes into this resilience and discipline. And that's what I'd say is it might have burnt some kids out from rugby, but I'd say 90%, if not all of them, would probably have this work ethic that would stand them in stead to smash whatever job, career, anything.
Yeah.
And so that's where I stand on those things. I think people, by and large, can all work a lot harder than they realise and do a lot more. But if they're not given the opportunity to see it, then they won't. And I've had enough chats, even just with the podcast with guys, and like, if they were lucky enough to have a formative years as David Lyle, a great boxer, but he went to Dilworth, so he got picked up from like Thames High, or, some small town. He goes there, and he's like, whenever I've had a tough time in my life or do anything, I'm always thinking, what would a Dilworth boy do? So I get up early, make my bed, go to training and that, and so I lean towards for the boys that the right thing to do is probably overtrain them, than undertrain them and hug them, because that's where the real resilience often will come from.
There's obviously definitely pros and cons.
But then I also, if I was to talk it even a little bit more, oh my God, the amount of kids that were getting burned out and parents and rowing and the mental breakdowns of it all. So
rowing,
you can certainly go too far.
Yeah, 100%. And rowing's one of those sports that probably does it more than most, because it's the more you do, probably it's a sport where you definitely get better.
Yes,
there's got to be
there is a limit, and
then it's just up to the kid if they actually really want to do it. Okay, if not, well, they're not going to want to get to that next limit, and that's fine.
Yeah, and it's does it really matter?
Yeah, I see the just on the does it really matter. I saw an article from the 1980 something Māori Cup.
Yeah,
and one of the schools was complaining now, what are we, 40 years later, that might have been Christ College had different oars, and so they won and they should be disqualified. still complaining about that.
Oh, they still want it to.
They still want it to go to them, and they're all, would they be 50 or 60 years old? It's like, come on, mate. You could say that about every single game in the world almost.
But I honestly, yeah, man, I just get that on so many things as people assume that I would get wound up because I support lots of teams. I like sports and that. Like, the Chiefs have been, oh, how is it the Chiefs? I'm like, sucks for them. It's, you know, get on the Hurricanes.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
it's like, oh, well, it's just rugby.
Yeah.
It's just a game. Like, it wasn't it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, you see the media sort of hitting Damien up about it.
I know. It's just like, what are you doing? I was like, dude, went out there and played hard, man. I wouldn't have played any better. Any of you guys want to go out there?
100%. And, like, I think they asked him if he's getting a bit of stick from the Canes. Was it? No one's going to go and rub it in your face that they beat you in the final.
No.
You know, unless you go and do something to annoy them, they might chip you. But it's not like that.
No. Yeah, people that haven't been in the cauldron, or even if it's just, don't understand that people don't hate each other.
No.
It's like two boxers, they don't hate each other. They're doing their thing. You know, like rugby players, they don't hate each other.
No.
You just play.
It's probably,
like, you get some of it.
You get a rivalry, right?
You get rivalries. People go hard. You know, you can get a punch up. You're being involved, you know, like.
Yeah.
But it's not life or death.
No, 100%. And even if there is that rivalry, it's probably the first person you're talking to after the game.
Yeah. Well, and we also know that often the best rivalries, you know, some of the great mates are the ones that at high school, that you're like, who's this dude? You know, you got to have a scrap to sort it out.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, 100%.
Sometimes you got to have a few more to just see who's still.
Yeah, keep it going.
Yeah, that's it.
Older brothers, man. My older brother, we used to scrap. We'd won at 23 years old. I was 23, he was 25, so it's worse for him than me.
Yeah, nice.
Full on. We're both professional rugby players, just going at it.
Yeah.
Mum and Dad weren't too pleased about that, but
No, I think we'd been done because I've got 4 younger brothers, but only a year and a half between like me and Sean and them. We would just fight endlessly all the time. We'd play rugby together, taekwondo, all these different. But yeah, our last massive one was, God, why am I telling the story? But anyway, I don't know. We'd been like maybe 18 or 19. We beat each other, but our heads were too tough. We just like exhausted ourselves just punching each other out. It's just,
well, the thing is, you actually get that strong that you're like splitting each other open as well. And it's like, wow, this doesn't look very good.
Yeah. What are we doing?
You learn pretty quickly. Like, wow. Well, you finally learn. Like,
yeah. I was going to say pretty quick.
You haven't learned quickly. You finally learned that, okay, we'll stop that now.
Yeah. So then 23 Blues, 24 Hurricanes. So what when switched to the Hurricanes?
I was sort of wanting to go to Japan again.
Yeah. So
I hadn't mentioned much to the Blues. And then they were bringing in a younger crop. Not that I was that old anyway, but there were some new coaches rolling in, and for whatever reason, they were bringing some other players up.
Yeah.
And I was wanting to go overseas, so I was sort of like, didn't really plead my case too much.
Yeah.
Whether or not that would have helped, probably not.
Yeah.
They just moved on, and then nothing was. It sort of goes in cycles to get into Japan.
Yeah.
In 23, was there a World Cup?
Yeah.
Yeah, so wrong cycle.
Yeah.
And then the Canes came calling. Jamie rang me up, Macintosh, and wouldn't really have anything else.
Yeah.
So I'd actually, that was the team that I never wanted to go and play for.
Oh, really?
Wellington never appealed to me.
Yeah.
I played a lot of cricket there, and it was just windy, cold, you know, just didn't want to bar it.
Yeah.
Always just felt like that was my rival team as such. Absolutely loved it.
No.
Yeah, so environment, boys, everything. We obviously had moved to the new training base out in Silverstream. But yeah, it was awesome. We had a cool wee house. Obviously, we've got 2 kids at this stage.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was a good year. I had a bad concussion, so I missed most of the season, which was frustrating.
Yeah.
But the whole environment, everything other than that was pretty cool, and we were successful. I'd say the team was probably going as well as they did this year.
Yeah.
And then we played the Chiefs in the semi, and they got 3 quick tries, 2 charge downs, and something else. You know, and it was just like, okay, it's sometimes in sport, the best team doesn't win on the day.
Yeah.
And that was one of those moments, I think. And fair play to them. And then, well, they came up against that Blues team that was pretty strong, you know. I think of the teams who could have beaten them, we'd beaten them earlier, we were probably the best bet to go and win that game, but we obviously didn't make it. So yeah, it was cool going down there. Then we came back up to Hamilton. The worst thing about all of it was you play Super Rugby outside of Hamilton, you have to pack your house up.
Yeah.
Pack your house up twice a year.
So do you rent? Do you sell? Do you
We
them
rented,
empty?
yeah. So you find your guys who are doing the same thing. And so Caelan Bosher had a place, because I played a heap with Bobby, Lachlan Bosher,
Yeah.
his brother, who's in 20s and Chiefs and all that. So he would go back to Taranaki when I'd come to Waikato, and I'd play Super Rugby. And Blake Gibson, we would always go to his house in Auckland because he was at the Canes.
Yeah.
And so we always had the same place to go back to, but going to the Canes, you had to find a place and whatnot. So it was always easy enough to do that, but just moving. Auckland was okay because you could get a trailer and do 3 or 4 trips, where Wellington was 7 or 8 hours away. You've got to get a truck and spend some money on it. So there, that was probably the most annoying thing, if you could complain about anything.
Yeah.
Got a bit harder when the kids came around too, because you now got to watch them,
Yeah.
you know, while you're doing all that. But then, came back to Waikato, feeling good again after the head knock. Played the last couple of games for the Hurricanes, and first game back, snapped my UCL, which is a very small ligament, but basically your thumb just falls off.
Oh, yeah.
And then, obviously, I hadn't re-signed with the Canes because I didn't play much. So I was like, shit, I need to get back to the end of this season. And opted to go the public route, because plastics, anything below the wrist is a plastic surgery.
Oh, yeah.
And so you can obviously imagine not many people go to the ED for plastic surgery.
Yeah.
So I was able to get through real quick and get my surgery on my thumb to try and get back and play. And anyway, I woke up from surgery and I was like, geez, that is seriously sore. And I remember saying to Courtney when I got home, it feels like my thumb is on the wrong way. It just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
2 weeks down the track, they take the cast off, scanned it, and I just sat down with the surgeon. He's like, I don't want you to play this season, because if you do it, you then have to graft it, and it's a major. So, okay. And get the x-ray. I'm walking down to get a little plastic splint to put on. Someone's yelling your name out, running down the hallway of the hospital, which is never a good sign.
No.
Like, okay. Go back in. He's like, you need to go up to surgery right now and get the wire pulled out, because they basically put my thumb on like that. So it was half out with the wire holding it out. And so it also meant the ligament they'd reattached was completely doing nothing. And so 3 surgeries later, I was finally on the mend. So that was frustrating and put all other rugby in jeopardy, I guess. And then we ended up at Yakult in Japan, needed a lock, and I hadn't played in however long, and I wanted to take everyone over there because it was, it's good over there. And so we went to 3rd division. Well, they're in the top league. There's the 3 divs, and you promotion relegation. So yeah, went over there, and it was an experience. Yeah, it was cool. There's definitely was some frustrating elements to it. But yeah, it was pretty awesome. Like, we played Hiroshima, went to Hiroshima with 2 games down there, 2 teams. So you travelled there about 6 times. It's a great place. I'd say there, when then, surprise, got an injury over there as well. And if the team were playing away, there were no real obligations on the weekends, because they were a semi-professional Japanese team, so there was no one there to come and train you. So we went to Kyoto and Osaka. Did you go there?
No, only Tokyo and Hiroshima. Yeah,
see, well, Hiroshima's great, but Kyoto was awesome, and so was Osaka. Tokyo's great, but it's all much of a muchness. And so you experience it in the great food and the big buildings and lights everywhere and all that, and awesome. But once you experience that and you go to Kyoto and it's more of a traditional area of Japan and all these other things, that's pretty cool.
What's going on now? Let's sort of bring it to the let's bring it up to the modern day. You can do another campaign, but also rugby, it's almost finished up. What business are you got going on, and what's the plan after?
Yeah, so we, in Japan, when we were there, we were like, obviously, I've had a lot of injuries and whatnot, and I was just getting a bit over it. And you get to the point of your career where they always tell you need to have something for after your career, and you're like, whatever. I don't want to be here on my day off. But it was always in the back of my mind, like trying to find something. And then we started just looking for a business that might suit us and suit the lifestyle, and still be able to maybe play rugby if that's what I wanted to do. And so, we were just scrolling through businesses for sale, basically, with nothing really in mind, but wanting to find something and then invest into it. And we came across a cleaning company, Busy Bees Cleaning. So Courtney as well is on the business. So we're the master franchise owners of Waikato and Bay of Plenty.
Oh, nice.
So obviously came into it, and there were existing franchises that are sort of do the work and we find the work for them.
Yeah.
And it's been cool. It's obviously still been able to play rugby as well. It was a bit tough. We took over in July last year and went straight into Mitre 10 Cup. And so I'm trying to learn this, and obviously I'd done a lot of that, so that bit was okay, but just late nights instead of being able to do it during the day, you're doing it afterwards. And there were a few unforeseen circumstances that we sort of inherited that we weren't expecting. A little bit of honesty from someone who won't be named. You know, I think most people that have bought a business probably found that out. So we've had to work through some things, but it's been cool. It's been nice to do something other than run into people and play rugby and use your brain for something else and learn something new. And things are going, touch wood, pretty good at the moment. We're sort of building it up slowly, which has been nice.
What will be the challenge of it? Is it going to be the business development? Is getting more business through the door? Is it going to be retaining and having the staff to be able to deliver on the contracts, maintaining the quality of it?
It's really all of that. So there's obviously the Auckland franchise, master franchise, and then he also owns the overall business, and then there's the Canterbury one who's doing quite a bit down south, and then we're trying to branch out to become nationwide. So we all work together, which is quite nice, and we're all reasonably new into taking over our regions. So everyone's enthusiastic about it and wanting to grow. But so we've got to obviously make sure the work that's being done is being done well enough. They'll tell you if it's not. So it's not too hard to keep on top of that. But you really want to front foot it. You don't want to get the email. No. We don't want you. You want to make sure that you're front footing it. And it gets a bit hard sometimes because it's sort of, it needs to be done, but it's not right now. But if you did it right now, it would probably save you down the line. So it's just making sure you do a week or whatever it is. And then obviously you need to go and find more work, which is, you can cold call, send a cold email, knock on a door. Obviously they can find us if they're having issues with cleaners, which is all sort of things that have happened and have worked. And again, it's sort of situational, or the time of the year, start of the year, people were looking for new cleaners because they're sick of the ones from the year before or whatever it is, and then making sure that the franchises are doing their own, making sure their work's being done well, because technically it's their franchises, their own business. We just provide the work and do the invoicing and all that sort of stuff for them. And then obviously myself and Courtney do the odd clean as well. which is good. And I always wanted to do that at the start because you need to know what you're doing before you know, to be able to teach, you need to know how to do, right? So yeah, it's been interesting, and you're dealing with a whole lot of people, which I think rugby has set me up pretty well for being able to communicate with people. But yeah, sometimes you get those situations where he said this and she said that. Right. And you've got to try and imagine you guys are the same, right?
Yeah.
Put the puzzle together in the right way.
Yeah,
keep both parties happy and
try and figure your way through.
Yeah.
How do we just work out with everyone being relatively happy out? Exactly.
Without this blowing into something it doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
But no, it's been cool. And then my wife she's a chartered accountant by trade, she's been working for Ingham Motors for years, and they were really good to us. And she was able to work overseas and do all that. But she's just started her own accounting company as well.
Nice.
So we're all the eggs in those baskets at the moment.
Yeah.
And then obviously trying to play a bit of footy as well.
Yep. So what sort of accounts? Like, is it small business?
Yeah, small business, farms.
Yeah.
GSTs, or just sort of the smaller stuff at this stage.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's just obviously literally just starting out. Website's gone live a few weeks ago, and got a couple of clients, but a few more would be handy if anyone's out there needing an accountant.
Wow, what's the firm?
It's Tucker Accounting. So
Tucker Accounting.
You're not getting me,
no,
which you can all be happy about.
Yeah.
Whoever's listening can be happy about.
Yeah.
You're getting a very qualified chartered accountant she's very good, yeah.
Yeah, excellent. And I assume doing all the different book.
Yeah, so obviously I had to learn a bit of that as well for some of the invoicing for business and you never go near that sort of stuff at rugby. So she managed to teach me, so she must be pretty good at what she's doing.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's it. It's it can often be a benefit if you can deal with, because you're either in accounting, you either deal with an old firm that's got everybody there, and then you still got young people that are doing all the work, or you can deal with a smaller firm. But if you can deal with a small firm with someone that's young that can actually, the money you're paying, you're getting quality rather than paying the top director money and getting
exactly
the
intern. If you're
with
that big firm, the young person's working, they both get paid, so you're probably going to get charged more than what you would otherwise.
Yeah, 100%. And if you want someone to actually look into the business and that, or grow with it, that'd be cool.
Yeah, exactly.
And Buzzy Bees, so do you guys do much socials?
I haven't ventured into it. There is a nationwide socials.
Yeah.
I'm on LinkedIn. If anyone wants to chuck me on that. But yeah, not a heap at the moment. It was more the first year just wanting to get the quoting side of things down, being able to sell our first franchise was a goal. Obviously teach the first franchise, figure out all the equipment and all these other little things. That was basically for year one. That was it. Year two is to try, and for all of the franchises, is to try and expand.
Yeah.
And so that we've just had a big meeting last week with all of the masters, so trying to grow the business is that next step for us.
Yeah.
And socials is something where I think as rugby players, it's some boys are really into it, and then the other boys are probably just talking shit about that guy.
Yeah.
That's just sort of the rugby environment.
But so Buzzy Bees, so residential, commercial?
Yeah, residential, commercial, like builders cleans, hard flooring, windows, we do meth cleans, decontaminations, basically anything. We are trying to get into the exterior cleans, but just haven't yet. But that's all.
That's a lot of market in what you've already said, though.
Yeah, it is. And each franchise can sort of specialise in certain things, carpets or whatever it is. But commercial is the big game.
Yeah.
And then you get those other one-off ones that sort of help you out and help the franchises out as well.
Yeah.
Lie in the back pocket, I guess. But yeah, it's there's obviously plenty of cleaning companies out there, so there's plenty of competition, and it's trying to figure out, well, how are we better?
Yeah.
What can we do differently to attract clients.
Yeah.
And I feel being able to have a conversation with people is almost a dying art.
Mm-hmm.
So if they ring, the first thing I'll try and do is be friendly and, engage in conversation.
It's easy for me to say, but I sit on the other side of it and it's changed up. Is having a founder lead or, like the owner as the front face of the business. Yeah. And this is a resilience or a challenge thing. Is I didn't want to do it initially, but I forced myself to do it with Waikato Shield. Is it's, quadruple the business in the last 4 years but this is me. This is who you're going to get to deal with. Sure, we've got big teams and everything now, but hey, if something goes wrong, I'll still come out and see it. I'm going and seeing sheds. Here's me in a shed, and going around and seeing different things.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's awesome. This season, what's playing?
So I was actually meant to go to Japan again.
Yeah.
To play. Just wouldn't have ended up being many games, but for Kintetsu, and then decided to play a club game to get myself ready and got knocked out.
Oh, yeah.
So that was concussion number too many.
Yeah.
So I've been battling with that a little bit. Signed back with Waikato, which I just genuinely love playing for Waikato.
Yeah.
So
that is the one common thread to the whole thing is you and your relationship with Waikato is obviously good for.
Yeah, however it worked out, I said to you before that I've managed to play for Waikato almost every at least one game.
Yeah.
Every year apart from when there was a major serious injury or whatever it was. So they all tended to be at Super Rugby. So give a great relationship there, and all things should be going well. I'll be back on the field for round one. And see what happens after that.
They have plenty of steam. This first game of the NPC.
Yeah, it is. And we've got our classic Hawksman Taupo.
Yeah,
done that about 100 times. we used to stay the night, but times are tough, so we day trip these days.
Yeah,
but it should be good. I think we've got a good team. Obviously new coaching, which is good. They're all real great people, and I think sometimes it's nice to have something new and fresh and a different game plan and just something else, because everyone enjoyed what we did last year for the last 5 or 6 years with 4 or 5 years with Floss and the boys, but it just changes good sometimes.
Yeah, just a different approach, different way of doing it.
Different. It makes you think differently as well, right? So you can create better players or whatever it is just purely by looking at something differently.
Yeah.
No,
it'll be a cool season. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this double header with the FPC against Canterbury.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm actually gutted that we're not playing in Canterbury.
Yeah, I know. Well,
so gutted. That was apart from the Ranfurly Shield, that was the second one I looked at. And I was Waikato Stadium, which is always good. Don't get me wrong. It'll be nice to play in that new stadium. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I haven't been down there yet. I was looking forward to an excuse to go down.
The All Blacks weren't big enough draw cut.
Getting a ticket to
I say the only
fly down there to sit in a pub and look.
That's it. The only thing they did wrong with that stadium was they'd not made it big enough.
No.
They argued about it for how long, and they chose the small option.
Man, Kiwis.
And they've been sold out every single game.
Yeah, I just don't think
it's ridiculous, eh?
They based it on the wrong assumptions. But we won't do it here. It's like, it's completely different. Yeah. And then, Canterbury is just a different, Christchurch is a different city to Otago, the population base. I mean, the fact that it's so likely that they'll get a 20, the 20th NRL team, they'll just be able to pump through the.
And if they were looking at numbers from the previous ground, which was way out of town, freezing cold, wind used to howl straight through it.
Yeah.
You're now not even 500 metres.
Yeah.
From all the bars, all the restaurants, everything.
Yeah.
And you've got this massive indoor stadium. You're going to attract people just because they're in town.
Oh, that's where it's turned into with a stadium like that, is it can become entertainment.
Exactly.
We went to the Tokyo Giants and it was just entertaining. I'd never seen baseball before.
Was it in the Tokyo Dome?
Yeah, in the Tokyo. It's enjoyable. But you're just walking into this complete climate controlled, go out, grab some food, and that is... When you're in that, and that's what people are used to. People go to the mall every weekend. It's, people, that's what they do. The average modern human lives inside, like all of the time.
Doom scrolling.
Yeah. And so you've got to give it to them. But well, good on them. At least they finished it.
Oh, it's a great stadium, regardless, right?
Anything else? Anyone else to shout out or anything else to finish it off with?
Shout outs. No, maybe thank my wife for, I don't know what the time is, but the kids will be no good on a Friday night after school all week.
Yeah, always. That's it. Always rush out the wives.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's about it. Yeah, got the business in there. And she'll be happy that she got the
Tucker
accounting.
accounting.
And Busy Bees, Waikato. They have plenty as well, so get at us if you need some cleaning.
Yeah, man. Awesome.
Cool.
Cheers, James. Thanks,
man.
you.